Welcome back. We are continuing our breaking news coverage out of Cincinnati, where Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin is in critical condition after collapsing on the field during the Monday Night Football game against the Bengals. In a statement, the Bills say Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest following a hit during the first quarter of the game. That's when Hamlin tackled Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. The Bills say Hamlin's heartbeat was restored on the field before he was transferred by ambulance to the hospital, where he's sedated and receiving treatment. Meanwhile, there's an outpouring of support for Hamlin from the entire sports community. The Cincinnati Bengals tweeted, "Sending our thoughts and prayers to Damar." The Tampa Bay Buccaneers wrote, "You are in the thoughts and prayers of Tampa Bay." New England Patriots said, "Our thoughts are with Hamlin as well as the entire Buffalo Bills organization." Atlanta Falcons said, "Sending our thoughts and prayers to Damar Hamlin, his family, and the Buffalo Bills." And the Baltimore Ravens tweeted, "We offer our prayers and well wishes to Damar Hamlin and his family." Well, joining me now from Dallas, Texas, lifestyle and sports analyst and president of LifeFlip Media, Eric Mitchell. Thank you so much for being with us as we cover this very difficult story, of course.
Very difficult story.
So what are your thoughts this hour as we wait to hear more on Damar Hamlin's condition?
I guess the good news is we got that release from the Bills just about an hour or so ago, giving us an update on Damar, because we hadn't had one, right? We've gone hours without one. The last all the viewers at home saw was him driving off in the ambulance and really getting zero feedback. The teams didn't give us anything. And I think that's what most NFL football fans are used to. Player goes down on the field. We saw it just a few weeks ago. That same very field is where Tua went down with his concussion, that he was taken off in an ambulance. And we received word probably 20 minutes afterwards that he was stable. We didn't get that last night. We literally all went to bed. Everybody's on Twitter or their social media checking over and over again, going, what is going on? Because when you hear from the guys in the booth that there was aggressive CPR, they had to shock his heart back, and they had an oxygen mask on him and put him in an ambulance, that kind of left us all on this cliffhanger of this is way more than a game. And I think not just what the emotion we saw of the players on the field, but those viewers at home who were, like myself, sitting in my house, shook from this, watching what had happened, because I watched it live happening and went, okay, that wasn't normal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you say, I think a lot of us are taking comfort in learning that Damar Hamlin's heartbeat was restored on the field there. But of course, it's not the end of his journey here. So talk to us about reaction that you've been hearing in the football world in the aftermath of Damar Hamlin's collapse on the field. What is being said about him as a player and, of course, as a man?
I think one of the greatest things that we've seen take place is how all the athletes, and not just professional football, have come to the aid and shouted out messages. You look to the NBA. We had an NBA basketball player tonight, Donovan Mitchell, score 71 points in a game, and he made it sure at the end of his press conference to send thoughts and prayers out to Damar. Same thing with Klay Thompson tonight. He had a game winner for Golden State Warriors, and he made sure to include a comment about Damar. And even LeBron James also made sure to make comments. What we're seeing is this is a great young football player, 24 years of age, from Pittsburgh, where he played at Pitt. If you know anything about the great people of Pittsburgh, they love their local guys no matter who they end up playing for. So you're seeing a lot of the local community hearing about what he's done. In just 2 short years in the NFL, he's really affected a lot of younger athletes, making sure to give back to his community. And as we could see from the outpouring of players in the NFL, just lots of thoughts and prayers, and seeing the greats like Patrick Mahomes. We've seen Drew Brees, who's retired. He's in the Hall of Fame. Send his thoughts and prayers out. You have J.J. Watt. You have the entire Watt family making comments this evening. It's just the whole league, all athletes. I think everybody. You're seeing a lot of non-sports fans going, okay, I'm watching my spouse or loved one watching this game, and they're caught up in it. I've never watched football, and wow, this is emotional. Thoughts and prayers go out to them. So it's really in a time where we're all very divided, it's really united everybody.
Yeah, and I can see it's affecting you emotionally, definitely, as it has a lot of people we've been talking to this evening. So from a football perspective, Why did it take so long for the NFL to figure out that they needed to postpone and reschedule this game, particularly given the impact this had on the players themselves? We saw them out on the field and they were distraught.
I think, you mentioned my emotions. I mean, I come from a military background, so I relate to those players. You get, like in the military, as a Marine, we work very close to our fellow Marine brothers and sisters. Same with these athletes on the field. They're very close. They're family. They're around each other more than they're around their family. And you felt it with the emotion on the field. The NFL, it's hard to say what was going through it. Obviously, this is the first time this has ever happened, where you have an athlete having cardiac arrest on Monday Night Football in a game that a lot of people are watching. This wasn't just some game that just happened to be on. This was a big football game with a lot of eyeballs, and I think they scrambled to try to figure out what they were doing. It has come out. You did hear from one of the NFL officials did release a statement just a few hours ago saying they weren't ever going to go back on the field with that 5 minutes where they were like, you'll be okay, go back on the field, which was good because a lot of us were like, really, 5 minutes? That's what you expect these guys? They put the pictures of the camera on Josh Allen and on Joey Burrows. Those were two faces that kind of gave the image of the entire both teams. Those were people who were not ready to go back on a football field and go hard and heavy at each other. So the NFL had to figure it out and put this together. And we don't know if they're going to reschedule this game. But the NFL's already come out and said that. I think right now that doesn't have anything to do with it. And I think a lot of us, when the NFL was making his decision, went, you know what? I don't want to see these guys back on the field. And we've heard now captains from both teams refuse to go back on the field. And this is more than just a game. This is a player's life, and that's the most important thing. I don't really care if they do that. I care about Damar, and I know that the NFL and athletes around the world agree on the same thing.
Yeah, so important. Damar Hamlin's condition right now, his health is all that matters at this juncture. Eric Mitchell in Dallas, Texas, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.